Walker Mail of our buddies at Locked On Hornets joining me. Walker, give me some optimism about this game. Everybody is rightfully kind of pessimistic about the Hornets at Pacers. Can they win this?
Yeah, they can. There's a reason that the Charlotte Hornets had the tiebreaker heading into last night's game against Washington. One more loss will put them behind the Pacers, obviously, solidified now in this 10 seed. But even when Gordon Hayward went down against the Indiana Pacers earlier this year, the Charlotte Hornets were still able to perform pretty well against them. It was Miles Bridges who really helped them the last time that they faced off against one another. Miles is back from the health and safety protocol. It's all about controlling Domantas Sabonis, who we know that they've struggled with size all year long. He's one of the most skilled big men in the league. But there can be some optimism as far as beating the Indiana Pacers. Remember, there's a reason they're in the play-in tournament too.
Yeah, okay. So we can be disappointed about the end of the season, but also acknowledge how it started and that the Hornets kind of overachieved and are ahead of schedule still, can't we? It stings the last 5 games.
It certainly does. That we can be disappointed in the last 5 games of the year, and we can also overall take a view of what this was and know, okay, you got LaMelo Ball, in my opinion, rookie of the year. Terry Rozier had a career season this past year. Even when Gordon Hayward went down, he was performing well before he went down with that injury. Look at the monstrous step Miles Bridges took this season as well. It could begin and end with LaMelo Ball being a potential superstar, and that's all you have to do to look at, okay, this is a successful season. But that's not the end. It is Miles Bridges. It is some guys that have really stepped up this past season. And so that's why I think that this is a year where they did overperform a lot of expectations, including the season win total set by Las Vegas. I do think that overall this was a successful year, and it's still okay to be disappointed to go 0-5 in your last 5 games.
All right, we'll get to what the roster is going to look like next year after this season is actually over. But I do want to ask you about Gordon Hayward. How concerning is it that he's not here on the floor at the end of this season into the postseason? And are you worried about the same thing happening next year?
It was the risk you made when you signed him to $30 million a year. It's also a risk a lot of people would argue a small market team has to take, because a guy of that kind of caliber might not choose a smaller market team if you don't pony up. And even a guy with those kinds of risk, other teams might not be able to or not be willing to pay him $30 million. And so that's the bet that Charlotte made, and it really hurt them the last couple months of the season. It does have to be concerning, but you do like the development of LaMelo Ball. Logic would say that a 19-year-old will be better as a 20-year-old, will be better as a 21-year-old. And we've got such a young team here in Charlotte. You're hoping that maybe some of those guys can offset an absence from one Gordon Hayward. Still a couple of moves. The Charlotte Hornets have to figure out what they're going to do in the offseason. Gordon Hayward's injury history has always been concerning. The fact that it played out like that again this year, yes, it's something to take note of. But the fact that you have youth on this team that could possibly offset that going forward, that's the thing I think that you can look at with some optimism.
You can listen to Walker Mail and Not of the Scribe at Locked On Hornets daily podcast. Hornets at the Pacers in a winner-go-home play-in situation Tuesday night.